Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Wednesday evening, June 12, 2024. Now before I jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more weather lovers or rain lovers just like you guys, so that we can build this weather community as we head into the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October, so that we can keep everyone safe. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren. And subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the days were like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related questions that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so all eyes are on the disturbances across the western portions of the North Atlantic. The U.S. National Hurricane Center has highlighted these areas. One situated right now across Florida is expected to move towards the northeast, where it has a 20% chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. And another one right here in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico that has a 30% chance of tropical cyclone formation as of the 1:25 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time advisory, which is actually 12:25 p.m. Jamaica time. So we'll see if we can actually get the first name storm out of one of these systems. There's gonna be Alberto and the second name storm. I'll definitely be here to keep you posted. As of the latest Doppler radar images on the system that has been affecting Florida, there's definitely some bad weather taking place. We see all of these yellows, oranges, reds that represent some amount of moderate to heavy rainfall affecting portions of southern Florida, Miami. So if you have friends or relatives in Florida, please ensure that you reach out to them. Please ensure that you tell them to turn around, don't drown. Try to ensure that they keep safe as much as possible. We know how quickly flooding can happen, especially in these areas. And the thing about this system is that it's going to be continuing to push all of this moisture from west to east as it continues to push off towards the northeast. So there's a lot more rainfall to come. So it's definitely somewhat of a bad situation taking place. I've even seen some clips and videos on social media of flooding already taking place. So I hope that everyone is keeping safe. Taking a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see that frontal system that has the airflow pressure entangled in it. We can see numerous tropical waves across the southern portions of the Caribbean affecting sections of Panama, Colombia, Venezuela. Numerous tropical waves intertwined with the intertropical convergence zone. That's where the winds from the northern hemisphere meet the winds from the southern hemisphere, and we have all of that rising air causing a lot of clouds, showers and thunderstorms, and we have some tropical waves embedded in the air. And there's a lot of talk about this tropical wave that's right there off the west coast of Africa, because if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun started to go down, you can see the enormous amount of clouds associated with that tropical wave. So we shall see exactly what unfolds, if the wind shear is going to be tearing it apart, or the Saharan dust is going to be choking it off, or if it's going to be fighting all of that and make its way westward in the trade wind. We can also see the clouds associated with the frontal system associated with the airflow pressure still bring a lot of clouds, showers and thunderstorms to sections of Florida, the Bahamas, even sections of western Cuba, even sections of Jamaica getting in on some of that, because this system is kind of causing a more of a southeasterly flow heading into that system. And we've been seeing that we've been definitely getting in on some low-level clouds coming into sections of especially southern and eastern parishes in Jamaica from even last night, and we've been talking about this very moist southeasterly flow, and it's definitely taking place even as we speak. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today. So isolated showers were in the forecast for sections of eastern parishes in Jamaica on Wednesday morning, as well as sections of some northwestern parishes on Wednesday afternoon. And just for reference, eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, so Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew. Western or northwestern parishes, We're talking about Hanover, St. James, Trelawney right there. But what ended up happening? The moist southeasterly flow actually surprised a lot of us last night as we saw some amount of rain. I don't know if you remember, the Doppler radar images were showing some dots of greens to the south of the island. But I wasn't expecting all of this to develop so quickly into a huge squall line of showers and thunderstorms. We saw even some yellows in there, and at that time, all of that was definitely heading into portions of southern parishes in Jamaica, so section of St. Catherine, Clarendon, and Manchester were definitely getting in on it. And that was the order of the night as this continued across most of those spots last night into early this morning. So even sections of St. Thomas got in on some of that. Sections of St. Elizabeth picked up on some of the rainfall as well. And there could definitely be some more of that as we head into tonight with all of that moist southeasterly flow. We can see that even as of 4:10 a.m., we woke up to have or to see more rainfall still affecting sections of some southern and eastern parishes. The section of St. Thomas, my ear and St. Thomas definitely got some morning rainfall, and we even saw some rainfall heading into sections of Westmoreland from St. Elizabeth. And even by 12:36 p.m., we saw that we were still having some squalls coming in from the southeast on the visible satellite image. We saw these clouds coming into sections of St. Thomas, even sections of downtown Kingston where I work. We were definitely getting on some amount of a rainfall there. And we saw some of that heading into sections of southern Clarendon, Manchester, and St. Elizabeth. Also, keep in mind that this post was made here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica, and it was also made on our Instagram page at Weather.Jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss, posts that we don't make here on our YouTube page. So we can see that some of our followers are indeed confirming the rainfall in their area. Winsome Foster stating Junction St. Elizabeth was getting lots of thunder and lightning. That's what woke me up after 2 this morning. So that was about 12 hours ago. Going back to another post on our Facebook page, Maria Wint, Euro model on point because that's the model that predicts the rain, and that's what's happening in South Manchester now. Off and on, rain and windy. You're definitely right, Maria, because the GFS was more in line with showing rainfall for eastern and northwestern parishes, and the Euro was indeed forecasting that rainfall for southern Jamaica, but we weren't quite, well, I wasn't quite believing it too. I guess that's a 1 for the Euro so far today. Latoya Taylor stating light rain on and off. And even on our Instagram page, we have some comments coming in. Realm_JA stating, well, rain there, pour more. Ellie Bramwell stating, rain drop a whole harbor. We know that's in St. Catherine as well. We have some more comments coming in right here. Keisha Lay, 86. In Kingston, the rain was only drizzling until it stopped. Sun is very, very hot. In my area of Kingston, I got a good little downpour. That _music_lover stating wind and rain in Mandeville. So that indeed confirms the rainfall for southern parishes. We even have some comments coming in on our YouTube page. We have Shanika Fanny 8769 stating getting isolated showers from last night in Pamford St. Thomas. And Kemwa Williams stating, sir, good morning. Rainfall heavy in South Manchester from 2 a.m. up to last night. Denzel replied, came my brother. Alright, Denzel, I hear you. So definitely got some nice rainfall in southern Manchester with that nice southeasterly flow. Wish we had more of that southeasterly flow to bring some rainfall when we least expected. We like it. We like the southeasterly flow. Let's reload these latest visible satellite images so we can see exactly what's taking place. So we definitely see that moist southeasterly flow coming in across the island. As we can see here, not much in the way of rainfall taking place right now, but we do see that squall line coming into sections of St. Thomas, more so sections of Portland getting in on the rainfall as we speak. Some rainfall right there exiting sections of Hanover and St. James, some clouds that is more than anything else. So definitely they got in on some amount of isolated shower activity, and we can also see those high cold cloud tops going from north to south to make way for more of that rainfall across southern Jamaica than anything else, just as predicted. The infrared satellite image is not showing much more than some thunderstorm activity right there off to the northwest of the island, associated with some rainfall that affected a portion of some northwestern parishes that's now offshore. If we take a look at the latest Cuban Doppler radar images, let's reload these so that we have the very latest. So it's actually showing the 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 6 p.m. Jamaica time. So we can see all of that heavy rainfall to the northwest of the island, heading into the Cayman Islands over there, just like what we just saw on the infrared satellite images with that thunderstorm activity. You can see the high cold cloud tops represented by the blues, the greens, the yellows, oranges, reds, the blacks, even some sparkling white dots that indicate some lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. The waters between the Cayman Islands and Jamaica definitely getting in on that heavy rainfall. We do see some dots of greens here and there across sections of Clarendon, sections of Portland, and even sections of St. Thomas, just like what we saw on the visible satellite images. If we take a look at the temperatures right now, we can say we have 30 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 29 degrees Celsius in Kingston, and by about 4 a.m. on Thursday, temperature should dip down to about 26 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. As sure as the temperature forecast for tomorrow, we still see Jamaica right there embedded in some orange colors that we can see by the candle red. That represents 1 to 2 to even up to 3 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures. Keep in mind that this map from the GFS is showing 18D on Thursday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Thursday. So there's definitely going to be some more warm temperatures. You know, the average temperatures for the month of June across Jamaica are about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. We take a look at the thermometer. 90 degrees Fahrenheit is about the same as 32.2 degrees Celsius. So you should be receiving anywhere from 32 to 35 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Thursday. Taking a look at the dry air map, we can see all of the dry air stretching all the way from Africa across the main development region into the Caribbean. We know the dry air is represented by the yellows, the oranges, the reds, like what we see here on the key on the bottom. And we have a lot of dry air plaguing the region. But what we don't like to see is the Saharan dust, and we have a lot of it in store for 2 p.m. on Thursday. We see a lot of it stretching all the way across the main development region into the Caribbean. Right here where Jamaica is, we're definitely going to be getting in on the Saharan dust, the brown colors that we know represent hazy skies. Not to mention some of this triggering somewhat of respiratory illnesses in some people, whether it be asthma or sinusitis. So please ensure that you have your meds ready. As relates to the wave forecast, we still see that both the Euro and the GFS are showing more so in the way of blues surrounding the island than anything else. That represents anywhere from 1 to 1.5 meter wave height, as you can see by the key on the bottom right. And that's because the winds are still going to be coming in from the southeast or the east-southeast. Sometimes it looks so east-southeasterly-ish, but I guess it's somewhat more so from the southeast than anything else. And we see these colors, the greens and even some dots of yellows in there. They represent anywhere from 15 to 20 knot winds, maybe even gusting up to 25 knots in some spots. As it relates to the upper level wind flow, we can see that it's going to be coming in from the northeast across the island, making way for more of that rainfall across second of some southern parishes. That's if we get some thunderstorm activity blowing those high cold flow tops up towards the south. And we can see a lot of that being represented here on the infrared satellite images. The clouds became cumulonimbus clouds or thunderstorm clouds, and the high cold cloud tops were being blown off towards the south than anything else. That's what we're talking about. It usually brings more so in lieu of overcast skies, if not more rainfall, to sections of some southern parishes in most cases. But are we going to be getting rainfall tomorrow? First things first, what's going to be happening tonight? So we're going to be taking a look at the rainfall forecast for tonight. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 8 p.m. Jamaica time. And we still see more blues that represent rainfall across sections of some southern and eastern parishes in Jamaica. So we can rule out some more isolated showers for sections of southern St. Elizabeth, southern Manchester, southern Clarendon, sections of southern St. Catherine, sections of St. Thomas and Portland as well. We'll see exactly what unfolds, especially with all of that moist southeasterly flow. Skipping ahead now to about 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we start to see some differences on the modeling. So we're not going to be looking for consensus, we're going to be seeing which one of the models win. Will it be the Euro that shows some blues that represent rainfall across eastern, southern, and western Jamaica at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 9 a.m. Jamaica time? Or will it be the GFS that doesn't show anything at that point? Maybe a dot of blue right there across St. Thomas. That's the only consensus I see. We'll see exactly what unfolds at 9 a.m. Skipping ahead now to about 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We clearly don't see much happening across the island for tomorrow, according to both maps. But look, both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus that there should be a dot of blue that represents maybe some isolated shores right there across sections of Hanover as well as section of eastern St. Thomas. And we see very very much consensus with that forecast. Even the accumulated precipitation forecast maps are showing rainfall for especially southern and eastern Jamaica. Most of these rainfall totals are what's expected now into tonight. We see the Euro showing up to at least 0.48 of an inch of rainfall in the southeast. GFS showing up to at least 0.46 of an inch of rainfall. Keep in mind that both of these maps are showing all the rainfall that's expected within the next 24 hours. And we see that southern and eastern Jamaica are definitely going to be picking up most of it. And that's expected tonight more than anything else. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have a lot of clouds bringing showers and thunderstorms. The sections of the Bahamas, sections of Florida, northwestern Cuba still getting in on the mix associated with the frontal system attached to that area of low pressure that the hurricane center has been watching. Section of northern South America as usual getting in on some amount of rainfall, not to mention section of Central America. Don't see much happening across the Leeward Islands or the northeastern Caribbean at all these days. If we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean to confirm it, we can see that there's nothing near Puerto Rico, nothing across the Leeward Islands that is at all. More so some isolated pockets of rainfall to the north of Puerto Rico than anything else. On the Barbados radar, we don't see much taking place. We see some isolated strung out showers, some blues in there that represent some light rainfall to the east of Barbados, heading more so towards the west. We see some of that passing to the south of St. Lucia, heading into sections of the Grenadine Islands. Not much taking place at all, not even for Trinidad and Tobago. If we take a look at the weather view of Doppler radar images, we can see a lot of that rainfall that we just mentioned across section of Florida, section of western Cuba. You can also see some rainfall across section of the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, section of western Honduras, sections of western or northwestern Venezuela, and even into section of French Guiana and Suriname. If we take a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, we see that for majority of the basin we should be getting on those grays and some yellows and oranges that represent average to at least maybe up to 30 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures. Keep in mind that this map from the GFS is showing 18Z on Thursday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Thursday. But what we don't like to see is the Saharan dust forecast, and we see the dust as represented by the brown colors touching all the way across the main development region from Africa into especially the Windward Islands. So anywhere from Martinique southwards, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, the ABC Islands, Venezuela, sections of Jamaica, Cuba, the Bahamas, still gonna be getting some amount of Saharan dust, some hazy skies, triggering some amount of asthma or sinusitis in some persons. So ensure that you have your meds handy. As relates to the wave forecast for tomorrow, we see that majority of the basin should be getting in on those lighter shades of blues to darker shades of blues that represent anywhere from 0.5 meter wave heights to 1.5 meter wave heights. It's just that area that has the low pressure system right there to the northeast of Florida that should be getting on those high wave heights, those purples that represent anywhere from 2 to 3 meter wave heights or more. And it makes sense because the winds are going to be high in that spot with the system that's trying to develop. As usual, we see high wave heights right there to the south of Haiti and Jamaica with the strong winds that are expected. As we can see, most of the air should be getting in on those greens that represent anywhere from 15 to 20 knots. But we see that that area right there off the northeast of Florida should be getting in on that area of low pressure, that spin, which explains the high wave heights because strong winds are going to be accompanying it anywhere from 25, maybe even gusting up to 35 knots if it makes it up to tropical depression status. And we also see those yellows right there to the north of Colombia that represents some 25 knot winds as well. as related to the rainfall forecast now. Some isolated showers are in the forecast for a section of the northeastern Caribbean, and I'm sure that you're grateful for this. So anywhere from the Dominican Republic, section of Puerto Rico, the US and British Virgin Islands, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, section of St. Barts, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Martin. They'll be getting on some nice rainfall, and I'm sure they're happy for this. Sections of the Bahamas and Florida, as well as the western coast of Cuba, still to be getting on some more rainfall. Yucatan Peninsula, Belize, Guatemala, El Salvador, section of Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, section of Venezuela, into sections of the northeastern portions of South America. So Guyana, Suriname, French Guyana as usual, and we see that both the Euro and the GFS mods are in consensus with this. I know that when they're in agreement like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.